Hi everybody, thank you for joining me for my fourth edition of Card Classes in the Mail. These are classes that I'm putting together in lieu of my stamp camps that I do in my home during this time of quarantining. I'm so happy that you guys are enjoying my classes and that you continue to support my business. If you have purchased my card class in the mail, number 4, you should have received them by now, or if not, they are in the mail to you. If you have not purchased the class, feel free to follow along. Hopefully you'll learn some tips and tricks along the way. And I'm glad you came to join me. So I'm going to point the camera down and around. Hopefully it doesn't make you too dizzy. And I'm going to show you the 3 cards and what you will be receiving in the mail and how to put the cards together. Okay, so hang on just a minute. There we go. I think you should be at the same angle as I am. So this is the first card. It has a fun opening like so, and you can see the birds are all connected right here, which is a fun addition to how I cut the designer series paper out for you. Okay, this is the second card. This is a great masculine card. Has a fun fold like that. And again, all the cardstock is cut for you, and all the die cuts are provided as well. I cannot do any of the stamping on the cards due to copyright issues with Stampin' Up, but all of these die cuts and cards have been cut and scored for you to make it easy to put together. Okay, so those are the 3 cards. You will receive your cards in an envelope like this, and I've started to mark the bottom of the envelope with the kit number, so this is kit number 4. Just makes it easier if you haven't had a chance to put your cards together yet. It makes it easier for you to find the video in the future to do your cards. So you will receive 3 envelopes and a thank you card that I've done. And that's just for you as a way of thanking you for purchasing my card kit in the mail. So these cards are a little hard to get out of the envelope because there are so many layers to them. So you just kind of pinch down on the bottom. Easier said than done. It will eventually come out. Okay, so this card, this packet is for this card here. And again, it opens like that. So I've already done the scoring and the cutting of all the cardstock. This white piece goes on the inside like that. So that's just this piece here. Okay, let's see if I can get this all in the screen. You have 3 pieces of designer series paper, and you should be able to find, if you find the 2 shorter pieces, they will match up if you put them together like so. Okay, so this one goes here, goes right against the white piece of cardstock, and that's your inside. I'm noticing that this piece is a little bit longer than the white piece, so you might want to match it up like so and then just trim off this excess. Sometimes when you're hand cutting everything, it's a little hard to get the measurements exact, so you might have to do a little bit of tweaking. This shorter piece of designer series paper gets connected just like that. So I am actually going to put these together while I have you. And that way maybe you can follow along and actually put these together at the same time that I do. So I'm just attaching the designer series paper. So this would be the medium width designer series paper right along the edge of your white cardstock, like so. And then I need to trim that little piece off. It's not quite short enough. So you could do this with the paper trimmer as well, but I just have the scissors handy. So that's going to go right there. I was able to delete a bunch of apps off my phone, so I can now do a little bit longer videos. So if you want to, you can fast forward through all of this and just get to the parts that you have trouble following. And then this piece is going to go just like so. And again, this one is a little bit longer than the one that I just cut off. So I'm going to try to marry it up with the one that I've already laid down. And you should be pretty close to that score line. It doesn't have to be right on top. It's okay to have a little bit of a gap here. And you can see that it's a little bit longer, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. Okay, now this piece folds back. It does not get glued down. You want to have some movement there. Okay, so then you're going to take this piece of old olive, and you're going to put tape on the outside of this fold, and you're going to lay this piece right on top of that, like so. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for you. Okay, so this is just going to open just like so. Now this larger piece of designer series paper is just going to go right on top. Like so. I won't do the stamping on this because I know you may not have the same stamps, and you can just stamp whatever you want to. So this piece here, you're going to tape or glue on to this top part of designer series paper, and you only want to apply tape on half of it so that this part, this side here, can be free floating like on this one. You don't want to glue that down. I'm just going to lay that down, and then this piece is the one that you would stamp on. So I'm not going to glue that down yet because I want to be able to stamp a greeting on that. But that's how that card is put together. Okay. So the next card, let's see what's in the envelope. At least that one was easier to take out of the envelope. Okay, so this one is this card here. And again, this has all been cut for you, so I'm just going to glue this white piece on the inside. Now you probably don't want to tape this or glue this down on the inside until you've actually stamped your images. That way, if you don't stamp them exactly correct, you can turn the paper over and re-stamp it. But that's where that white piece would go. And I just stamped some little greenery down at the bottom. Now this cardstock, or the designer series paper, and the stamp and the die is all from the Timeless Tropical set. This is the stamp set and has the coordinating dies. This is in the current mini catalog. If you want to get this at a 10% discount as a bundle, then you should get this now. It will be carried over into the new annual catalog, but you won't be able to get the 10% discount anymore. And the designer series paper will no longer be available either. They retire the designer series paper at the end of every catalog year, so if you want that, you should get that on order. So the current catalog ends June 3rd, so it's right around the corner. And we have a great new catalog lined up for you. So if you haven't received one yet, or you would like to get one sent to you, just let me know. So all I did was I took that designer series paper and glued that onto here. You can either glue it or tape it. I have scored these pieces for you. You just want to fold back on the score line. Now when you're folding the score line, you always want to fold with the indentation on the upside. So the score line is right here. It's kind of a valley, and I'm folding that on the outside. You want to make sure that those score lines are really nice and tight, otherwise it's going to create more bulk on your card. You can use a scoring tool, or I'm just using my nails to make them nice and tight. So you're going to put some tape or glue on here. I would probably actually put glue on here just to make sure that you have a nice tight adhesion of this piece, because it could potentially pop off. And then this piece here, you're going to want to stamp the image first. Again, I'm not going to do that just yet because I don't want to take the time on the video to do that. And that just gets attached like so. And then I'm actually going to tape this down as well. You could actually leave it loose and stamp another image there if you wanted to. But I'm going to glue it shut. And then you're going to, I have included a little piece of white cardstock. If you have this stamp set, you're going to stamp this image and die cut it out. I used my blender pens to color that in. Okay, so that would get attached right on top, and that would be the completion of that card. And the third card is this one here. This set, this card uses a Good Man's set. It's a really great set for making masculine cards. This set will be carried over into the main catalog, so it's great timing for Father's Day. And this is the cardstock that I have put together for you. So these might all be a little bit different because of the paper that's in the kit. I didn't have enough of all this type of designer series paper, but they all still coordinate with the card, so should be okay. So this white piece here goes on the inside like that. I'm just taping this into place. Again, you would want to do it in your stamping first. This piece here has been scored for you, and it's also been embossed. And what I did was, I didn't really like the look of this card with just a plain outside. If you like it that way, feel free to leave it that way. What I did was I took one of our watercolor pencils, and I just went really softly over that cardstock, and it picked up some of that texture a little bit more. You want it darker, just push a little bit harder, and you'll be able to see some of that texture come out a little bit more on your card. So hopefully you can see that. Okay, so to attach that, you just either tape or glue this piece here to the back of your card. You want to put that right at the edge. You want to match up the top and the bottom, make sure it's nice and straight, like so. And then that will close like that. So I'm going to go ahead and add my designer series paper. Like that. And then you have these two pieces. The white one is the one that you would stamp on. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue that together. Again, stamp first, glue second. Make sure everything is stamped the way you want it. And then you're going to glue it in place. So you're going to want to stamp your image so that it's going kind of on this diagonal of this, this square, so that it'll fit inside of the opening, like so. So what I would suggest doing is kind of doing a test fit with the outside to see where you want that to be glued down, making sure that that white square is going to fit right underneath there, and then go ahead and put that into place. Okay, so then go ahead and do that. Again, this might actually be easier to do with like Tombow glue because it'll give you a little bit more wiggle room on your matching up the square. Okay, that looks about right. And then you'll have a tiny little piece of Velcro. These are Velcro dots that were cut in half. And because this little margin right here is pretty small, I needed to cut them in half. So I've done that for you. And you can just take apart one of the outside protective layers and put that down. So the two pieces of Velcro are attached to each other. So now I'm going to take the other protective piece off and put that down, and it's right where I need it to be. So that'll be a nice tight closure. So I showed this once before with these Velcro dots. You want to go ahead and open and close them a few times because they can be a little bit fussy, but once you've opened and closed them a few times, it makes them much easier to open a few times. Okay, so that's how that one goes together. All right. Unfortunately, I have allergies and my nose will not stop running. So I hope you have enjoyed those cards. Hopefully you can join me again for the next card classes in the mail. I do have another card class number 5 that I will be videoing today as well. So stay tuned for that one, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.